March 5th, 2021. I am copying Dale. I like the energy that he was delivering with the fucking standing studio. My house is upside down right now. There's renovations. So the studio that I currently like to sit my ass in and the chair that occupies me is under construction. There is tools and furniture and fucking holes in the wall. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Dale, happy Friday. How are you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great. I mean, I'm on a heater. I got my first mani-pedi the other day. I think you need one right now. Let's go relax a little bit, sit in the chair,
You got a
get
manicure
pampered.
and a pedicure.
I did. Let me tell you something.
You
It
know what? I'm not
was.
judging. I'm not going to judge.
Don't
Tell me all
judge.
about it.
I'm gonna
Let's
take
hear
you
it.
there, dude. They
Okay.
did this like little salt scrub on my feet,
Yes.
and I was like, I'm not a feet guy. Like I've never enjoyed my feet being touched, so I'm very
You're not a foot
nervous.
fetich guy.
No, so I was nervous going
So
into
so if
this.
homegirl's sucking your toes, you're going to be like, no, I'm not about that.
Homegirl, no, I don't like. No, my toes don't get touched. Like
Okay.
no,
Okay.
I'm out on that. So
Okay.
like she's down there and they like there's only one point that I was uncomfortable. They did this like little scrub thingy. I don't know, it was like a rough sponge and I couldn't stop laughing. I thought I was gonna just kick the little Asian lady in the face. Like I truly thought I was about to just like I couldn't stop. It was uncontrollable. But
I've had one pedicure
yeah,
and it was amazing. It was
right.
amazing. That's why I'm not judging
Yeah, you
because it's
can't
the first
judge.
time in my life. No. And I'm not a foot guy either. So I
Yeah.
really salute, the fantastic Asian community that does that business because I
Yeah.
would never
Dude,
touch another man's foot.
it was fantastic. Like the calves got like a nice little massage, and then they moved up to the hands and the wrists. And I'm
Nice.
like, dude, I'll be back. We'll go in 2 weeks. I'll take you. Maybe we even set the camera up. See our reactions.
We'll pop some champagne and just bring a charcuterie board and it'll be perfect.
You know who's popping champagne right now is the NBA, dude. They finally got to the All-Star break.
Okay.
West, East. There's some surprises on both sides. What did you think of the first half?
I salute the league on what it did because you had the MLB last summer had to pause some certain teams, i.e. the Marlins and the Cardinals for, COVID activities. I hate that it has to go to COVID. You also had in the NFL where there wasn't necessarily a cancellation of a game, but you had games that went to Tuesday. We talked about Wednesday football at one point.
Yeah.
It was kind of nuts. What I got to give credit to Adam Silver because although there have been games that have been either postponed or pushed back because of COVID, I just feel like the NBA doesn't get the same amount of backlash that the other leagues are doing. And you see it with kind of hockey as well. If we're talking on the court, I like what I'm seeing from Joel Embiid, right? I saw an interesting stat. Now, I don't really follow too much of the East. I try to, but obviously West Coast,
You're a
baby.
West boy.
That's where we're at. He has 5, I believe, 40-point games and 10-plus rebounds. And only 5 other players in the league have that. So I'm pretty impressed with that. Another thing with the Lakers. So when we did our preview show or whatever, everyone was just sucking off the Lakers saying, this is their year to repeat. I think it just goes to show with the Anthony Davis injury, it's not that easy. It's not going to be given. And the West, I guess, most surprising team, and you bet on them almost every night, the Utah Jazz. Did we kind of expect this? Is this kind of what we saw with the Atlanta Hawks, 4 or 5 years ago when they won 60 games and they got swept in the finals by the Cavs, by your Cavs and LeBron? Those are just some other stuff that I like to see.
No, I like that. I'm on the same page with the Jazz. We both agreed there. So my take on the East, the Nets, they are scary, scary good offensively.
Can we talk really?
Season.
Can we start spooky season? Can we talk really fast how James Harden? I am not going to say he was wearing a fat suit, and we don't body shame on this podcast. We don't. We are all for all sizes and forms. But I really feel the man was wearing some sort of special suit to make the appearance of his physical figure wider, and that almost seemed like it pushed him out of Houston and onto the Nets. And now they got another player? Like, look at the Nets.
The Nets, dude, offensively, they're a machine. They're a machine. They're a juggernaut. James Harden, I don't know what type of sorcery went into his body transition. That's what we're going to call it right now, body transition. But it was a remarkable transition.
Okay.
Dude, another thing with the Nets, Blake Griffin's getting the buyout in Detroit. Rumor has it he's also heading over to Brooklyn. You add Blake Griffin to like DeAndre Jordan, you got most of Lob City back, And now instead of
It's an older lob city.
Oh yeah, but they're still back. And instead of an older Chris Paul throwing them lobs, you got KD, Harden, and Kyrie throwing them lobs. Like, what?
I think the biggest thing was offensively, it is this league. I think offensively, I mean, they were averaging, almost 121 points a game. So long defense.
Crazy.
The biggest question for them, though, because all of them were perimeter players, I mean, everyone says that, Durant's a small forward, power forward. No, he's a fucking point guard.
He's
that's what he is.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now you get a presence in the post, and you have a player in Griffin who can spot up. He can shoot threes now.
Yeah.
And I think with a new change of scenery on a winning team, I don't know, this little detour he took with the Pistons, I'm really sorry about that. But good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And then also, I'm going to stay in New York. The Knicks are watchable. The Knicks are fucking watchable for the first time in a while. Julius Randle is an all-star. I mean, that dude is playing unbelievable basketball. They're 19-18 heading into the break. Dude, good for the people in New York. Knicks fans deserve to see a watchable basketball team.
Yeah, I guess they do.
What do you
because
mean?
Always heard the
life's good when New York sports teams are irrelevant. There's no debate. There's no debating that.
Well, what's funny is that there's actually good basketball on the professional level at MSG. Because how many times in the last 10 years has there been good basketball from college teams or other teams in there?
At
now,
MSG.
Exactly. You have the Knicks that are actually playing a high level of competition basketball. I like it.
They no longer have to wait for the Big East tournament to see good hoops. And then I'm going to go out west. I'm going to go out west. My first take, Jazz and Suns, hot starts. No one saw this coming from the Jazz. The Suns, they had the incredible bubble run. I think people kind of were hedging some funds on the Suns to be good this year. Now, can the Suns or Jazz beat the Lakers if the Lakers can get back to full strength in a 7-game series? That is to be determined. I don't know. There's a lot of basketball left, and when you haven't been there before, it's hard to get the job done, especially against the GOAT. The kid from Akron is he's hard to beat in the playoffs. Roll your eyes all you want. You know this. He is hard to beat in the playoffs. And then take two, the Portland Trailblazers stayed alive without C.J. McCollum for most of the first half. They are 21-14 heading into the break, and C.J. is just got cleared to start practicing again in contact. So they're going to get an all-star 2-guard back. Dame's doing Dame things. Blazers staying alive. They're in the 5 spot. So that's my take out west.
Now, how are you staying hot with the bets? Are you just picking teams? Are you like a chick where you pick the colors and the logos, or what kind of homework are you doing into these picks?
When you're hot, you're hot. And right now I'm hot in a lot of aspects. I'm on a bender, I'm on a heater, but there's a lot of teams also that are trending on heaters or trending on benders. So for example, Philadelphia, our boy Kyrie brought this up the other day and I did some digging on it. Philly has only not covered the spread in the first quarter twice all year. They have covered the spread every other bet. The Heat on back-to-backs are almost an automatic cover.
Yeah.
So when we were arguing about that last week, I'm just following some trends and seeing some things that I like. People can tell there's teams that I like right now a lot. Philly's one that I like to cover a lot right now. The Jazz have been covering a lot recently. Portland on the road usually covers, so that's a bet that I like to take. And then Heat on back-to-back. So there's some trends I'm starting to really like. But, yeah, no, I do my research. I follow what's going on. I look at scores every night. I know who's on back-to-back. I try to look up and see if any stars are sitting. The Nets are putting up points, so it's okay, what's the over of that game going to be? Dude, I'm just fucking hot.
Hey, do you know who was hot over I thought it was an interesting tweet.
Ooh.
But your boy Colin Cowherd, who just seems to have a total hard-on for Baker Mayfield. I don't know what it is. I don't know what he did to him. Baker Mayfield the other day, Texas native, so he was in Lake Travis. He's with his, I almost said girlfriend. I think his wife. Is he married? I think he's married. He is wifed up. He decided that he wanted to take his fingers onto his phone and go ahead and tweet, has anyone seen this UFO? Baker Mayfield saw a UFO, and somehow that was one of the biggest headlines on Fox. That was one of the biggest headlines on ESPN. And I think it's really come to show where we are at as a society where when Baker Mayfield sees a fucking UFO and he tweets about it, that's headline. And then you have fucking Coward who goes and pulls the get off my lawn. Tom Brady and Joe Montana and Terry Bradshaw, they don't talk about UFOs. What did Tom Brady do?
I mean, Tom Brady jumped to Baker's defense.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Brady-Baker connection is. Well, I'm here for it on Twitter. Tom Brady is the most underrated athlete on Twitter, in my opinion. His tweets are great. And then Baker's out here calling him old, and they're both just kind of mocking Coward. It's like, dude, who is calling Coward to say, I don't want my quarterbacks wearing backward hats. I don't want my quarterbacks talking about UFOs. Like, fuck you.
Fucking Coward is the guy that talks about how much he loves eating soup. Right. So when Baker sees an extraterrestrial figure or a fucking UFO in the sky, I would deem that important. I mean, if you saw a UFO, I would freak out too, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would tweet about it. Why not? In today's day and age, I mean, like, we know UFOs are real. It's not like at this point we're like talking about like some extraterrestrial life that like is still like a myth. Like, people have facts about this now. Like, why can we not have the open conversation?
I just like, you could talk about spring training. You could talk about the NBA All-Star Weekend.
Literally anything.
You could talk about March Madness coming up. No, we're talking about fucking UFOs.
Dude, one other thing we're going to talk about. Cleveland fans, rejoice. Big Ben's coming back.
Big Ben and all of his physical ailments is returning. He is coming back for another season. He's getting paid $14 million, which I think I almost want to give him credit for sticking it out, because I know for a goddamn fact that no other team was gonna pay him that money.
He's bad, man. He's bad. He's not good. Like, Big Ben is well past his prime. At this point, I hope that they literally brought Ben back to be Dwayne Haskins' big brother. Like, teach Dwayne how to be good, because that's the future in Pittsburgh. I genuinely think Dwayne Haskins is the future in Pittsburgh.
You are so sold on Dwayne Haskins because he's an Ohio State Buckeye.
I'm not, dude. He has the tools. Like, I watched this kid throw the football. He just, like, Urban said it when he came out. He's just immature. He needs someone like Tomlin to help mold him and guide him, and he didn't get that in Washington in any way, shape, or form, and he's going to get that with Tomlin. And I'm scared for the AFC North. I actually am, and for 2-3 years.
I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about how Baker Mayfield saw a fucking UFO, and we're fucking talking about that right now.
I mean, news is news. I don't know what to say. But, guys, All-Star Weekend, I don't have picks. Give us a follow. WOTM Daily, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. Will and I will be back on Monday. All-Star Game is Sunday night. If you need something to watch, go check that out. William, have a weekend. We'll be taking green tea shots soon.
I will not, and I will be on the lookout for UFOs. Have a great weekend.